Both yoga, as in hatha yoga, and alchemy are greatly misunderstood for their true purpose. The purpose of yoga of any kind is to attain a more enlightened state of consciousness. And alchemy, rather than being some mysterious myth about turning base metals into gold, concerns the process of the ultimate connection that allows a person to achieve their full human potential, that is, to be free of suffering and fearless in the face of death. It's about the answer to the biggest riddle of life, that is, the play between the apparent opposite forces of the material and the spiritual, or earth and heaven, that is, physicality and transcendence, or the relative and the absolute. We experience these two every moment as I, the subject, and you, or the world, the object. The meeting point of these two principles provides the greatest opportunity for a fully connected experience. In the Hindu tradition, this is the dance of Shiva, the male principle, as pure consciousness or awareness, which manifests as everything. Everything is made of energy, as Einstein said in the equation E = mc squared. The Mayan culture's Hunabku symbol has the hallmarks of two forces uniting. In Taoism, the union of these two principles is symbolized by yin and yang. These two principles are addressed in every significant religion and philosophy. The first principle is the absolute. In Christianity, that is God the Father. The Sufis of Islam call this al-Haq, being itself, the source of all things. In Jewish mysticism, it is called the root of all roots. Meister Eckhart called it the isness. The second principle is the relative, energy, the Holy Spirit, coming into existence as the material world. The Greeks worshipped Moneta, the Romans the goddess Mater, the mother, money, materialism. In South America, this is Pachamama. The Buddhists seek that which never changes, the absolute, and an awareness that the relative world of form is ultimately impermanent. In Tibetan Dzogchen Buddhism, the Vajra, or Dorje, symbolizes this awareness with two 8-petaled lotus flowers emerging from a sphere. One represents the phenomenal world of appearances, called samsara, the other pure awareness, or nirvana, as achieved by the Buddha. In the Buddhist teachings, these are known as the two truths. Everything has an absolute and a relative aspect. The absolute, or ultimate, is the inherent nature of everything, how things really are. The conventional, or relative, is how things appear. In the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, it says, the posture we take when we meditate signifies that we are linking absolute and relative, sky and ground, heaven and earth, like two wings of a bird, integrating the sky-like deathless nature of mind and the ground of our transient mortal nature. The Vajra is also called the diamond, as this pure naked awareness cuts through everything but remains unchanged. In rituals, the practitioner also has a bell representing the feminine energy, the world of manifestation. And in this context, the Vajra represents the male energy, awareness. The union of the male and female energy is often depicted as the erotic or sexual union of God, Goddess, Shiva, Shakti. The Advaita philosophy says we create the idea of my mind from thoughts and feelings, the idea of my body from feelings and sensations, the idea of my body-mind from thoughts, feelings, and sensations, and the world out there from perceptions, such as sight and sound and smells. So our total experience is made up of thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions. And all this is happening in the infinite field of awareness or consciousness. In fact, it is inseparable from consciousness, which is all-pervasive. There is no distance between a thought or a feeling or a perception and the field of direct awareness, which we call I, that it is happening in. For example, what is the distance between you and a thought, or a sound, or a sight? Advaita says that all we experience happens within our awareness or consciousness, and ultimately that everything is consciousness. Love is the proof that consciousness is shared. All this world is illusory, is Maya. Maya is defined as the power that makes the real seem unreal and the unreal seem real. I was first introduced to the idea of Maya in the great writings of Hermann Hesse and his books Siddhartha and the Glass Bead Game and the wonderful Indian life story at the end. One of my favorite stories is that of Shankaracharya, the great Indian master from the 8th century, who was taken as a boy to meet the Maharaja in his opulent palace with servants and dancers and concubines and peacocks and elephants and abundant feast of tasty foods. He said, "This does not impress me. It is all illusory." On his next visit, the Maharaja let out the lions. Shankara narrowly escaped from being eaten alive by climbing up a tree. The lion tamers came out and caught the lions, and the Maharaja walked towards Shankara, hiding up in the tree, laughing aloud, saying, "Illusory lions, Shankara." He replied, "The illusory lions chased the illusory Shankara up the illusory tree." But he still bothered to climb the tree. This is a great example of someone with one eye on the absolute and one eye on the relative. It is the alchemy of these two that is the greatest connection, when the seer and the seen become one, when nothing exists which is not consciousness.